I appreciate it though. I'll take. New Yorkers think it will be long range. Yeah.
So tell us about medium range shooting.
Medium range shooting. Well, there's a couple different things that we were learning today, both from temperature and how the rifle ends up getting affected over time as you keep firing it, and how that starts to affect its trajectory, as well as elevation, the cold weather environments.
Yeah, so as either the environment warms up or the brass warms up, the gunpowder inside warms up, and then when you shoot it, it is going to burn at different rates. It gets you different velocity. I call it medium range, right? Because, yeah, we can sit down here in one position and comfortably get you out to effectively 1,000 meters, 1,100 meters, and make hits. But do we do it standing, sitting, kneeling, and prone? Nah, we didn't. So what we really need to do is walk back what we consider our effective range is from this sort of one static thing. Because in a perfect world, that's great, but in the real world, it's rarely perfect, right?
Right.
So whatever the range that you can get yourself to a point where you can all positions make those same hits, that's your effective range. So we take stuff like this, we go, we're probably going to put a real world factor into it and just bring it back in. And so realistically, you had no trouble at 500, right?
Right.
It wasn't even an issue. And it's a bullet gun designed to go further, so that helps. But I would say you should be comfortable at 500 with good quality equipment at this point.
Right. Yeah. A lot of good learning. A lot of good stuff.
Welcome to Canada.
What distances did you shoot out to today?
The max distance we went out to was 1,098 meters, which was pretty sweet. We were able to hit that a couple of times before we started to actually face those factors of the barrel starting to warm up and the bullets also starting to get nice and toasty.
And low wind today, so that wasn't really a factor. And the target we're shooting at is effectively Minute of Buffalo, right?
Right.
So we have a large target area, and you can see how even the small changes right back here, a kilometer back, start to really cause a lot of deflection and drift and rise and fall out there to a point where you can start missing a car.
Yeah, even the smallest fraction of you not properly breathing, it can cost you meters downrange.
Yeah, and like sitting at a table, tables are not as stable. We think this is stable, but stable is earth, right?
Right.
Is like digging your body into a berm in the earth where you are in full contact with it. That's when we can start to really be like, all right, we're getting stable. But of course, the biggest takeaway is whatever you do, if you do it the same way every time, then it becomes a variable that you can now control. Like whatever your trigger press is, if it's the same thing and you're always low left, all right, well, we know it's a trigger press.
Right.
And so when you set up your gun, when you put your cheek on the gun, you put it in the same place every time, you're in the same alignment with the scope, you're looking through the same part of the scope every time, you start to reduce those factors. You're breathing the same way, you care about it or you don't, I don't care. Whichever it is, if it's always the same, it's repetitive, it builds accuracy, which builds precision.
So last question. For the application of your character in this film, what does this mean for that?
I think outside of learning the skills going on here, right? The character OJ works more in line with the support, but from what we're learning here and applying, I think that there's a greater understanding for both me translating in that character, the respect that we have for our designated marksman, the respect for that weapon system, but also understanding the reliability of who that person is that's behind that rifle and what we can expect, and that will affect the behavior both on screen and off screen with how we're working with our actors and such.
Legit.
Awesome.